Wizards outlook. We got Cardo Dudley Jr., Wilson Tarpe Jr. And look, real simple, man. We know Washington fell to Golden State last night. They cleaned things up on the second half of the back-to-back. Kyle Kuzma returns tonight, and the Wizards beat the Blazers 126-101. They had a big third quarter, but for the most part, they continue their theme offensively of sharing the ball. Another night with I think it was 2 assists shy of 30. So it's good to see them continue to move the ball. It's good to see Kuz back, obviously. But Cardell, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, man, it was just an efficient attack from the Wizards, man. It was pretty much from the opening tip like a shootout. Dame was going on here some big bombs. He had help from, Reddish, Cam Reddish, that kid finally getting an opportunity. He was right there with him, hitting open threes, hitting some nice jumpers when Dame got trapped or they focused too much on Dame. Anthony Simons, here and there did what he did. He didn't do the damage he did in DC, but he was still a factor. But just to get right to it, the Blazers defensively, they just couldn't stop nothing the Wizards was throwing at them. Dog, anytime a team shoots 57% from the field, 51% from deep, and 86% from the line, you don't deserve to win. I'm just going to be real. You just don't deserve to win when the team shoots that well. And then the Blazers did what the bad Wizards team do when they lose. Settle for a bunch of threes. Dame especially. I love Dame, but dog, he was 14 to 30 overall, but he was 5 or 17 for three. So what if he took better shots from three? Might be a different ball game, possibly. They're definitely in it, for sure. They were at 28% from deep, 12 for 42. You know what I mean? The Wizards was 17 to 33. Like you took 9 more attempts, but you made 5 less. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's, and you gotta look at Dame. You gotta look at the backcourt as the leader and as the point guard. You gotta recognize when your team don't have it from there and try to find other ways to score the ball, man. And one thing about a lot of missed threes, they spark your fast break, and they give you numbers and they give you mismatches, and that's when you see Kuz come back, and he got 33 on 11 to 26 to 10 from deep. You got Porzingis 28 and 12 and 5, putting up Kevin Garnett numbers. You know what I'm saying? 10 to 15 from the field. You know what I mean? Bill didn't have to go off. He just picking spots. You know what I'm saying? And he did what he did. So with those two cooking like they was, Bill was cooking as well. That three-headed monster was nothing that the Blazers could do, man. And, they pulled out a much-needed victory, and it was impressive because back-to-backs the Wizards have struggled. Back-to-backs they've struggled throughout the season, and they could have had every excuse to be like, man, we going from Golden State to Portland, back-to-back games on the West Coast, 10 o'clock game, and on East Coast time. They could have had every excuse to throw this in and take another L, but they came out, they fought, and they did it. Especially in the third quarter, that's where they won the game. They were on fire in the third quarter, and that's what separated them, and they ended up pulling it out.
All right, we'll get to it. Player of the game.
Kuz.
All right, X Factor. You got a couple choices here, but player of the game was very easy tonight.
Yeah. We go. How about Cole X Factor? Bill and Porzingis both took their turns. Bill and Porzingis providing. I know Porzingis scored more and had a lot of rebounds, but Bill ran the show. You know what I'm saying? And he facilitated a lot. They got them better shots than what the Blazers did, and that's what ultimately paid off for them.
Yeah, and also, like you said with Bill, the timing in the game of when he got his buckets was huge. Sometimes those the win is just as important or more important sometimes than the bigger number. And I thought he did a great job playing third. Obviously, looks like if you box score hunting, like, oh, he was third fiddle. But there were portions, little gaps of the game tonight where that's why they gave him his money, right? There was those little portions of the game where you need to, especially when you're playing against another very good guard, somebody like Dame, where those little pockets where you can swing games as guards. And obviously, I think one of the things I heard Portland was when Anthony went down. But again, he wasn't having the type of game he was having in DC. But he's a big deal for them right now. CJ's gone. He's next up. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I thought Bill had a really nice game, and the box score kind of, just seeing 19 doesn't fully reflect what he brought to the table tonight. And I thought he was kind of under control for the most part too, which goes a long way. Where we know when we talk about these three here, sometimes that's most of it. Just are they taking the shots they should be taking when they're taking those shots and whatnot. I will get to some of these comments. Appreciate y'all as always, staying up. Hey man, we're good. It's another night. I'm happy there's a day in between the next game and that the next game starts at 8. I don't like these 10 p.m. start times. Oh, can we please say a prayer for Kuz? Hey, look, man, Shaden Sharp is Shaden Sharp. They get that boy a couple runways, man. Like,
no, that's why they have scouting reports. You either read them and take them to heart, take them for gospel, or you pay the price. It's as simple as that. Man. I'm pretty sure at the top of Shaden Sharp it says unreal athleticism. So you know what that means.
Guarantee. You think the unreal athleticism is in bold?
For sure.
Kersey said good win, bounce attack for sure. 3-ball Kuz back. Yes, he's back. Biggie Steve was going on. He said it's all about Kuz. It's a different kind of ball game when Kuz be playing. They beat Portland. Give him credit where it's due. You needed a win. He's trying to get back into the stands into the right part of the standings out east, and you couldn't afford to lose back-to-back games on this road trip going into the break. That's just a no-no. Kersey said he makes a difference, but Portland is hurt. We supposed to do this. That's kind of where I'm at with it. It's a good performance. Just like when they, was it last week when they shot like 75% against the Pacers, what have you? Just, if you feel like if the Wizards feel like they are who they think they are, 3 games under 500 isn't it? Just to be honest. So, Biggie Steve said, kudos to the Wizards. There were a lot of posters to go around tonight. Pick your poison. 2 Brad dunks and KP with some cut action dunks. A Kuz with the half court and step back 3-pointer. Yeah, the 3 of them had a good night. Kirksey got a vote for KP for play of the game, 28, 12, and 5. Mm-hmm. He had Kuz as the X factor with the 6 3-balls. All right. A good poster was Kuz getting baptized by my boy Sharp. Hey, look, that kid can jump, like really jump. I think we all knew what time it was when he gathered. It was like, Davis and Jackson off the garbage. Davis and Jackson off garbage time with some 3s. Good to see the youngsters get in there. Quentin Jackson, I love it. Kid's fearless. He doesn't waste any time. Little minutes that he gets, he hops right into it.
He's another one with unreal athleticism. So if he get a lane, just remember I said that.
I remember around training camp, we were sitting waiting for somebody, waiting for whoever they bringing out to talk that day. And somebody, when you hear somebody dunking and it's getting your attention, that was my introduction to Quentin Jackson. Mm-hmm. Just, I don't know what the rim did, but he felt some type of way. And Vernon Carey Jr. with 2 points and 3 rebounds. Yeah, it was good. It's good to see the youngsters get some minutes and be productive in them. Obviously, we all know when garbage time comes for teams, it's atrocious basketball at times. So it's good to see them just be productive in those short stints. We got to do better when it comes to the trap. I noticed in a few games we tend to get stuck and turn it over.
Yeah, that's just communication and honestly not being alert enough when it comes. You know what I mean? You've seen that throughout the season where the Wizards guards, they can get sped up and maybe throwing some some wild passes cross court. I hate to pick on him, but like Denny's one of them dudes. You can speed him up, and he just play hot potato with the ball, and then it's off to the races for the opponents. Like, yo, what the hell? You could have just held the ball. At the worst case scenario, just call a timeout, save the possession. But they do have trouble with that. But the NBA now, there's not much focus on defense, so a lot of teams that will come in and face with us, they don't look to capitalize off of that. I know I would, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, something to keep an eye on, especially coming from All-Star break when it's really go time and teams trying to make the playoff push. I guarantee you will probably see a lot more teams trying to implement that against them. So the Wizards better be prepared. But tonight they did a good job. They only had 14 turnovers. So outside Porzingis the 4, and Porzingis is another one. You know what I'm saying? Him and Kuz, they can play hot potato with the ball too. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something they gotta keep track of for sure.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off that a little bit, like honestly, what did Golden State do last night? Like Golden State got in moments where they have answers for KP. They started setting the trap, and the ball just started going everywhere. Sped them up. They got some turnovers, some leak outs. All the turnovers weren't live ball turnovers, but it sped up Washington's offense because they haven't had an answer for that dude this season in both games they played. And both times when they got really, when they got to a point where he was really cooking, trap. And they just started sending different people from different places. So like Cardell said, it's definitely something to keep an eye on, and I'm interested in seeing how much teams go to do that and if they're able to counter it. Because there's a difference between the team just trapping, and there's a difference between a team trapping hard and a well executed trap. So we'll see. Biggie Steve said, thanks for staying up. Fire show is expected. We never disappoint. We appreciate you guys for staying up as well and coming in here and hitting the comment section, man. Appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all Thursday night at a reasonable time, which I am also happy about. Y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all soon.